Welcome back to our video game challenge here. This is our semifinals. I'm Arnie Wolf, joined by Dennis Geisler. And this is going to be a very fun match. I actually played both of these players earlier today. We got Robert Matthews and Michael Ruiz. And this is very interesting. It's a couple very different team comps than what we're used to seeing. You're going to see Robert on the left with Rillaboom, Fridge Raging Bolt, Ogerpon, Hearthflame, Araquanid, that's the key, and Koraidon, while Michael on the right with Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Tornadus Incarnate, Calyrex Ice Rider, Iron Hands, Golden Go, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. And what's very interesting is that Iron Hands does not have Quark Drive. It is on its own, though.
You at home also saw both of these teams earlier today. Robert in round 1 and Michael in round 2, I think. Maybe round 3, I don't know.
I know Robert was Araquanid Mirror.
Yeah.
And you know what I really like about it is its safety goggles. It's not going to really come into play into this match specifically, but it is such a nice way to stop Spore and just be like, you know what, that's not happening. Plus the 2 grass types, it scares people from bringing Amoonguss into Koraidon, which is kind of like the big thing that Koraidon wants to watch out for is Calyrex Amoonguss combos. I think Michael, you know, going into this, I'm thinking like, all right, Calyrex is not terrible, especially with Terra Water. Gotta watch out for those grass types and Wide Guard, but I do like the Rain lead. I think the Rain lead is nice, especially because this Rillaboom is Protect Terra Grass, and so set up your Rain Dance and go for those Bleak Winds, as well as you can go for Ogerpon. Cornerstone's really good into that. Golden Go's really good into that. It's going to be a lot of lead game and mind games because you do have to watch out for that Wide Guard on the Araquanid, but if you're able to negate that, then you're going to have fun if you're Michael.
I was going to say, it's important to note that is a very sunny team for Robert, and Michael does have the Rain Dance. We'll be able to overwrite that.
Yeah,
See how much that comes into play. And we will see that Tornadus come out along with the Golden Go against the Koraidon and the Rillaboom.
I think that's a pretty good lead from Michael. Gotta watch out for Fake Out. I think you just gotta double protect here. In this case, there's really not much. It can give Robert a possible free switch in, but I don't think it's necessarily gonna matter all that much. Especially if the Rillaboom is the one that's switching out, then you're gonna be okay here. You have to set your Rain Dance and then just go for a nasty plot. Not much that a Flare Blitz in the rain can do. Gotta watch out for Thunderclap now, of course, but overall, I think a double protect is safe.
Flare Blitz in the rain is still pretty saucy.
Yeah, it's really scary, especially with Raging Bolts.
Double protect would be fine. Yeah, double protect is fine.
That's the good play there.
No issues at all with a double protect. Can win with double protect. But at this point, yeah, now you're running into the same issue. Now with a Raging Bolt on the field, of what do you do now? Both these Pokemon are actually like Oko threatened right now. Yeah. It's important to know.
I do like the idea of...
Even Flare Blitz and Rain is going to do a lot of damage against the Golden Go.
It will. There's a risky play. I mean, it's semi-risky, but I think a good call here is to go ahead and switch into the Iron Hands and Rain Dance. Iron Hands is going to eat up whatever these two have. Flare Blitz in the rain won't do that much, and then Raging Bolt will not do that much. And then you're able to just kind of go for your Bleak Wind Storms to get rid of, or force the Koraidon to Terra Fire and then Drain Punch it. And then you also potentially, if that's the case, the only thing that you got to watch out for is the burn. We're going to just see a Terra right away. I believe this is from Michael's side. It is the Terra... it is the Terra Ghost on the Tornadus.
Hey, I mean, it's mostly in order to not get fake outed, but it also means that you're not weak to electric anymore. Which could at least keep your Tornadus standing until next turn. If you want to nasty plot right now, if you believe that you'll take this hit.
Oh, what's connected to the Tornadus?
Not the hit I was anticipating.
And there's that burn.
That's the burn, not meaningful.
That's why you didn't switch into hands.
True. It's actually genius. But now you get the nasty plot onto the Golden Go, and now you get your Tailwind up if you're Michael. Next turn.
Yep. Snarl gonna connect here. And misses the Golden Go!
Ooh, that's really big. That's really big.
You can see on Michael's face the shock of that Snarl miss.
That's a good reaction. Chat, can we get a clip?
Tailwind fun times now. I think honestly, you just click Tailwind, make it rain while the Araquanid's not in play.
Yeah. What does one do about this?
Yeah, not much.
I think you have to switch out the Koridon here in order to get the Koridon back in later.
Yeah. And if it is Araquanid,
Bye-bye, Koridon.
you could Shadow Ball here onto the Koridon slot. I personally like make it rain to chip the Araquanid. And the switch on Torn is also not terrible, especially because the rest of the team's relatively slow on Robert's side.
Yeah. Yo, Italian Iron Hands on the Freya.
Shadow Ball going to connect with a Raging Bolt instead. Does about half because it is Assault Vested, but drops a Spadef. So nicely done there.
Now it's just +1 on the Golden Go. Big fan of Italian Iron Hands. We've seen 2 of them today, and I'm a big fan of Italian Iron Hands.
Golden Go going to recover quite a bit too, getting the Grassy Terrain boost plus the Leftovers boost. And we're also going to get a take a look at the speed tier here. Obviously, Golden Go is going to go first, then the Raging Bolt, then the Iron Hands. Kind of exactly what we would expect. The question now becomes, do you double target this Raging Bolt, or do you want to leave that Araquanid in? It is a rain boosted, water bubble boosted Araquanid.
Yeah, that is actually very scary.
Yeah.
That is one of the deterrents to setting up rain, is that Araquanid is is present.
Yeah. I think
but you can fake it out right now. Like, you're not scared of it this turn.
Going to Rillaboom for Robert again. I actually was going to say that. I think the Shadow Ball plus fake out into the Araquanid slots to play. Or just Shadow Balling this time into this Rillaboom. +1 without the Assault Vest does a good chunk of damage.
Oh, going for the knockout on the Rillaboom.
Sacrificing the Rillaboom here.
Bye-bye, Rillaboom.
And this is going to do a lot of damage for the Araquanid. It's a liquidation into the Golden Go. 1-hit KO. Well, roughly.
Roughly 1-hit KO. It's basically a 1-hit
It would have 1-hit KO'd.
And I mean, that's pretty meaningful for Robert, because it looked like that Golden Go might just run over the entire battle, and it didn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't say this isn't a terrible spot right now.
Yeah, it's not a fantastic spot for Robert to be in, but it's still closer to neutral than the oh no, what do I do about this Golden Go spot that was potentially the case not that long ago.
I think this is there's 2 choices that are pretty decent. You could Volt Switch
right
on Iron Hands or just Wild Charge it. There's one thing that's kind of particular. We saw this as a Focus Sash Tornadus. That means it will probably outspeed the Koridon. Most Koridons are not running max speed and enough to outspeed Tornadus, so there's a chance this Torn can outspeed and just click the funny Bleak Wind button and then force that Araquanid to Wide Guard and therefore knock it out with a Wild Charge from Iron Hands. That's how I think possible. I don't know. It's a risky play, but it's a play that I think is the most effective.
Could click Rain Dance though.
That's also useful, but scary, especially if Calyrex Ice Rider is in the back. Really don't want to.
Rain Dance.
Ooh, Flame Torch. So Torn will go. Kind of, yeah. Not a great matchup right now.
I wish Tornadus had done something. Because if it had clicked Rain Dance, that would have been something that it did.
Would have been difficult though, because the Araquanid would have done a lot of damage.
Yeah. I wish the attempt was to get rid of the Araquanid, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
this is not good for Calyrex right now.
Yeah. Because that's a problem, is like, you wanted to end this with the rain being up, Koridon being unable to switch out, and like Iron Hands at whatever fine amount of HP.
Yeah.
But now you're in Sun against the Terrifier Flare Blitz.
Not gonna do good. I do think you just go for the Drain Punch into the Koridon slot, and then
I think you have to read the Terra and click high horsepower into the Koridon, but I don't even know. Oh, you probably knock it out.
I'd be shocked if this Koridon doesn't get it out. Yeah, there is that Terra.
There it is.
My favorite fire type, Koridon.
Yeah, big hungry bicycle.
That is something you can take into account, though.
That it's a big hungry bicycle?
That it's a fire type, essentially. Koridon just... Oh, this is going to connect the Iron Hands.
Yeah, I didn't really acknowledge that was a thing that happened, but I'm actually shocked that Iron Hands took that.
Oh, the Wild Charge now going to One hit KO the Araquanid. That's valuable information.
It is valuable information. I wish it did that last turn.
Yeah, I do too.
I wish it did that in the rain last turn.
It is good to know, though. I actually thought the Drain Punch would it have KO'd this Koraidon? It might have. Probably not. Doesn't come close.
Was there a way out here? Could Calyrex take a Flare Blitz in the sun with Orichalcum Pulse?
Terrifier, too.
Terrifier?
No.
Could it possibly do it?
Koraidon,
Can it get the job done? It does have a pretty high HP stat.
No. The answer is no.
And Robert Matthews wins game 1.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Good play there. You know, I actually think, looking at this, I like Trick Room here. I think I see what Michael was going for.
I would like.
Yeah, actually, Rain Dance.
Imagine how much less damage that would have done in the rain. It might have taken that hit.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Rain Dance.
In the rain, it definitely took that hit.
Definitely.
And instead, Tornadus got knocked out for nothing.
Yeah. I think he kind of had to play the last ditch effort though, because then that Araquanid would have been able to two-hit whatever. But, and if you're like me,
well, that's the thing is that. You would have taken a little more damage from Liquidation on your Iron Hands, and then you would have Wild Charged it, knocked it out from full, and then Koraidon can't switch the weather. Calyrex is suddenly a lot more protected. Iron Hands is a tiny bit of HP remaining, so you can still play around with that a little bit, potentially threaten Drain Punches back up to fuller HP, and like Calyrex can click Glacial Lance and high horsepower and stuff. Like it felt like a route out of the game, not necessarily a total winning play, like a guaranteed winning play.
Yeah.
But it was just very strange that wasn't even opted for.
I think, like I said,
and also it was a good read by Robert on the second to last turn to go for the Flare Blitz into the Iron Hands slot to take that thing down pretty low when the Calyrex protected. Speaking of Calyrex and Iron Hands.
Ooh.
2 Pokemon in this battle.
This is very good. Like, I actually, one thing I was going to say is, if you were like me, you didn't expect that Araquanid to take a Wild Charge, or to go down to a Wild Charge. You thought it was going to survive with a sliver of HP, and then it could recover with the Leech Life onto the Calyrex. But with that in mind, if this is a very kind of iffy position for Michael, it's like, do you go for the hit on the Araquanid trying to get rid of it with that Protect threatening it, or do you go for the Trick Room or try and play it a bit more passive, fake out Trick Room shenanigans? I do think going into Trick Room with Koraidon usually is the right play because it's so fast. And a Thunderbolt, it's not boosted. Calyrex takes that pretty easily.
Yeah, I think you just hit him.
Yeah.
I like this play. Go for the Glacial Lance. Good damage onto both of these Pokemon. And the Monophylia. Going to take out the Araquanid as well. I like that turn from Michael quite a bit.
Yep.
Does not give you a Chilling Neigh boost, but if that's the biggest downside of the play is that you got a KO but it didn't give you the boost, you're pretty happy with that. And Rillaboom does come out. You can just protect.
Speaking of
Calyrex. Yeah, like this is a dangerous spot to be in, like in terms of the damage that this thing can do.
I think you gotta Volt Switch out with your Iron Hands and then onto probably the Raging Volt.
I mean, yeah, you can do like a Protect Volt Switch and just get on out of there.
And then you can
not
go
really
to
have to be worried about anything this turn. Except I guess to fake out an Iron Hands, but that's not that big a deal.
I think if you can at least get rid of the Rillaboom on the next turn, which looking at the damage output, definitely very possible.
I think Rillaboom is not going to take a Glacial Lance.
No. It's going to come down to whether or not
there is in fact the Protect.
Yeah. Woodhammer, yeah. I was going to say, it's going to come down to basically, can Thunderbolt and Woodhammer one-hit KO the Calyrex? But if you do, and you have Golden Go in the back, you got a little thing, a fun button. Oh, expected a hard switch maybe, or just to go for super effective damage. But Golden Go, getting that nasty pot, even at +1, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Weaken the Volt Switch.
That could be. I don't know if it would really matter at the end of this
year. It does not matter at all. But the Iron Hands will switch on out of there. That's a little chunk. It actually could put Raging Bolt in the Glacial Lance range.
Yeah.
Probably not with the grassy terrain.
Oh, I see the
And
play.
here's Tornadus.
That's smart. That's very smart. Glacial Lance plus Tailwind. You take a Grassy Glide plus Thunderclap for sure. Yeah.
Rillaboom will protect. Try to keep itself around an extra turn.
There's that Tailwind.
Indeed, there is the Tailwind. That makes Calyrex surprisingly fast.
It is a quite a fast Calyrex. I believe it's just a few points under Urshifu Adamant max speed. Kind of crazy when you really think about it. Ooh, Bolt survives it with 5 HP.
Does take it with 5 HP, and so the Thunderbolt will do a bit of damage. And now, do you take a Thunderclap Grassy Glide? You probably do.
I think you do. And if not, you got Iron Hands and Golden Go.
He'll be fine.
I would swap that Torn now. Do not get rid of one of these two, then bring the Torn back to go for the Rain Dance.
Protect with the Torn.
That's a solid play as well. It does have
if you're dedicated to just going for the Glacial Lance, although that's the thing as well, where it's like if you think that you are going to get knockouted by Calyrex getting doubled, you're going to want a Bleak Wind to knock out the Raging Bolt and do some good damage onto the Rillaboom.
Yeah.
So we'll see if this is a read by Robert or not.
I feel like even though if the Calyrex goes down, you have Tailwind.
No protects.
Is it Thunderclap as well? It is Thunderclap.
Thunderclap does pick up the knockout. Not enough, because it has Focus Sash, and we remembered that the entire time.
I think this is...
The Tornadus Bleak Wind does a lot of damage, but leaves Rillaboom with 2 HP, so the Chilling Neigh boost gets applied.
Raid Dance shenanigans time.
Yeah, I mean, now you're... Now, to preview this for the crowd at home, there we go, 2 HP for the Glacial Lance. This is like when you're playing Fire Emblem and you have like in Fire Emblem Awakening, like Donald feeding one enemy to Donald so that you get the you could slowly build up the stats over time. This is my Fire Emblem joke of the day. But yeah, Koraidon now...
That's it.
Yeah.
Robert gonna forfeit.
Robert's gonna forfeit. I don't think that there was, like, no way out at all, but it wasn't likely. And it's probably better not to reveal any calcs.
Yeah.
Especially in Game 2, we're gonna move to Game 3. No shame in just moving on.
Yeah. I think there was nothing... Especially, don't keep in mind this Koraidon. It's gonna get hit by a super effective attack at one point. Either if it hit the Tornadus, then Glacial Lance. If it hit the Calyrex, Bleak Wind Storm. It could not have Terrid because the Raging Bolt Terrid. So
yeah, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, so it was like it was over. There's not much. Either Robert couldn't really have done anything.
I don't know. I think like you Flame Charge into the Calyrex, pick up the knockout. Tornadus uses Rain Dance because that's the correct decision.
Yeah.
You take it out the next turn. Now it's Golden Go and Iron Hands. Ignore the fact that Iron Hands came in and used Fake Out on the previous turn.
Yeah.
On that turn where it knocked out Tornadus.
Yeah, like, I actually think the better play there would have to just Glacial Lance and Bleak Wind.
You're gonna see it.
Well, okay.
I saw it.
Is it what I think it is?
Maybe. I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
I don't know. You thought you saw.
I thought it was
me and the chat saw it, and that's what's important.
I am curious though, chat. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to actually see this, but
no.
Does a Bleak Wind Storm single target KO Koraidon?
No shot.
Okay. I think it's max. Is it max? It may be a max timid. Max timid Tornadus or something.
That is actually a crazy specially invested Tornadus.
Yeah. I think it's smart though. It's so if you got Focus Sash, you don't need bulk.
That's true.
So it's like, you know what? Why not?
That is your bulk.
So that's why I'm curious on the calc on that. But if not, we'll figure it out. But we're gonna see the leads.
We get on into game number 3. Gonna be the Calyrex Tornadus lead this time. On Robert's side,
double grassy.
Rillaboom Ogerpon.
It is double grassy.
The multiple grass types.
Is this good?
The concern.
Yeah, I'm like
being Calyrex Ice Rider, famously a Pokemon that likes to use Ice-type moves. It's in its name. And you can't forget Tornadus.
You just double
has Rain Dance.
You just double protect here if you're Michael, right? Like
I think you can double protect and at least stall out this turn and see what is being cooked right now.
Because you really don't want to get faked out on either.
Yeah.
And so you just want to stall.
And you block the fake out. You see what's happening.
Yeah.
You see the beef.
Especially too, if you do set the Rain Dance, that's gonna be very good. Where I think your Calyrex is gonna be able to just get a Glacial Lance. Period.
Yeah.
Gets rid of the Rillaboom, gets rid of the Ogre Pawn, and well, it's gonna Terrifier here, as we're gonna see, but it's gonna at least chip it to, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think this does, depending on the Ogre Pawn bulk, roughly 50%. It's resisted, but maybe between like 30 to 50%. So we'll see, but that's gonna be good for you because then you can set your Tailwind, and then after that, go into Golden Go or hands.
There's the Tornadus Protect. See if Calyrex goes for the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Still at the fake out turn, and also see that the Terra has been used now.
That's kind of big. I mean, the question now becomes this, though. I mean, if you Rain Dance, do you Glacial Lance and get rid of the Rillaboom, or do you Stomping Tantrum out on the Ogre Pawn?
I don't know.
I think both are decent. Oh, I did not see. There's no Koraidon.
That's what I was talking about.
That's
if you Rain Dance, there's no way to overturn it.
Okay, why not?
Yeah.
You know, I think actually the Glacial Lance is the really good play here for Michael, though, because, you know, you got a Raquinid. I think it's a really safe switch into that that Ogre Pawn Fire slot, especially because you want to set the rain Dance, and then after that, like, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have to get Grassy Glide at X2. You will stop, however, Tornadus from attacking, which is super important.
Oh, Rillaboom slides on out of there. Giraffe comes in. See the Terra on Michael's side. Might be the
It is
the Calyrex. It's a very nice read to witness the Rillaboom getting out of there.
I am wondering if this is Terra Water Glacial Lance. Oh, we will see.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
It's a Tailwind, okay.
I am gonna assume that's what happened.
Ivy Cudgel will come out first. That is good to know. I guess it makes sense, but it's good to know.
It's gonna do a decent chunk onto the...
It's solid damage, but the high horsepower is what comes out into the Ogre Pawn, and that's gonna drop it.
One-hit KO!
Ring the bell.
Good news is... There's like good news, bad news here.
There's not much good news.
Well, the good news for Robert is you can set a Trick Room while Michael's Tailwind is going, with Rillaboom coming back in. The bad... And which is very useful with Araquanid and Golden Go potentially in the back.
The bad news is both these Pokemon are going to get knocked out by Glacial Lance's turn.
I think you got to fake out Trick Room and just...
Well, yeah, you've got fake out. You can...
Bleakwind gaming time, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Bleakwind is also going to hit these things pretty hard. That Rillaboom is not bulky. Slash the Tornadus is really especially... It is really damage invested.
There's enough turns for Michael to stop. You know what's interesting?
Yeah, what?
There's, I believe, Michael... You could go for a double protect on the next turn as well. I don't think... If you go for the play that you have to set the Trick Room, Michael's going to be able to stall that out pretty easily. That must have been a misclick. Tornado.
Strange choice. But in any case, Calyrex takes a bunch of damage, but does get the Glacial Lance off.
Okay, well,
that will knock out the Rillaboom and do quite a lot of damage to the Giraffe.
I thought the takeout was going to happen for sure.
Yeah, I like the Grassy Glide as, like, the one plausible out. Like, can I knock out the Calyrex? It was close.
It was close.
it almost got there.
It's an interesting case right now because
now the Trick Room's up. Araquanid in Trick Room? Now hold on.
It's a very good strategy.
I mean, the problem here is that Tornadus is going to knock out Giraffe and do a lot of damage to Araquanid this turn with Bleakwind, but it can't do that if there's a Wide Guard.
Yeah. I think
but then you just get to bring in, like, Iron Hands or something next turn.
Yeah. I think you Wide Guard and high horsepower into the Giraffe.
What?
Double protect.
Oh, protect.
Stall. Protect stall. That's smart.
Protect stall, yeah.
Yeah. That's now 3 turns of Trick Room to go, which, if you did bring in Golden Go in the back, you're fine.
There's the big Wide Guard from Araquanid.
Yeah.
The cool guy. Big fan of Araquanid.
I've seen Wide Guard so many times today, at least 25.
There's a lot of Wide Guard. This is the Wide Guard meta of all time.
It really is. Which is kind of crazy because you look at Michael's side, you have Glacial Lance, you have Make It Rain, and you have Bleakwind Storm, so 3 Wide Guards.
But those moves are so good that you gotta bring them.
That's why you have them.
And that's why people bring Wide Guard, is because those moves are so good.
Yep.
Araquanid Liquidation does not knock out Calyrex.
Whoa.
But Foul Play certainly does.
I think you needed to Wide Guard again because this Bleakwind may just pick up the win for Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there was a way out regardless. Like, Calyrex drops, and then what? Is the big question.
Oh, we get a berry. Okay, take it back.
Oh,
Take it
yeah,
back.
it's...
There's a berry.
What? Oh, because it's a nerve.
Yes.
I get it. Because it was too afraid to eat the berry. I mean, the next Bleak Wind knocks out for a giraffe.
Yeah.
Araquanid Speed fell. But the thing is, Iron Hands, presuming there is an Iron Hands in the back, Iron Hands can come in, fake out that,
Not right now.
Oh, you can't do that because there's a giraffe.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I do think you're okay to just bring out the Iron Hands. Go for
I still think the Iron Hands is like a good option because you could just bring it in and like, I don't know, just hit something.
I think you
Drain
gotta
punch the fur giraffe.
That's what I would do. A double up is the only hope, but if that happens, you gotta, then that's like, yeah, wild charge.
Wild charge.
Safer.
That's fine. And I think this game's over.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I think unless Bleak Wind misses, the game is over.
Even then, you just switch out to Golden Go, and that basically guarantees you win. But yeah, that's it. Michael Ruiz goes to the final.
Goes to the final, and will face Jinchi. We got the team sheet a minute ago.
It's a Cali Ice Mirror.
That's what we like to see.
Congratulations, but also congratulations to Robert. I'm just gonna. I think Araquanid deserves so much credit. That's such a really good pick on Koraidon teams. And I was talking to Robert a bit earlier about it, about how it's such unexpected. People aren't going to prep for it because it handles so much. It's a water type in a sun team, and yet it's able to wide guard. And then if you have rain, well, guess what? You're going to do a lot of damage with that liquidation. And it also counters Trick Room setters such as Calyrex. So it's just a really good option into that. It threatens so much and plays with the mind games. But Michael called those mind games, was able to come out on top.
Yeah. And we will take a very, very quick break, and we will come back for the finals. Junshi and Michael, don't go anywhere.